What's up guys, eDrone here, and today we're going to be doing part 4 of my Project Blue Falcon JC Diatone build and installing the video transmitter and the receiver and going over a little bit more in depth of what I've learned about the FlightOne flight controller. Stay tuned. Alright, this is going to be the last build video of this playlist. Make sure you check out the playlist for the entire build on this guy. I'm very excited about getting this thing finished up and go ahead and jump into the FlightOne program setting on the computer. I really can't wait to see how the user interface is going to be so much more user-friendly and a lot different than the Betaflight I'm traditionally used to. Now, we're going to go ahead and go on the bench and install the receiver, which we're using the Crossfire Nano, and we're going to go ahead and install the video transmitter and my good buddy MD95TSI. Make sure you check out his channel. He actually showed me some more information that you guys need to know about this flight controller so we can get it set up correctly. Taking a look at the flight controller, special shout out to my good buddy MD95TSI for showing me about this particular board. Now, right here you'll notice at the end of each set of these pads, there's 3 pads, and they say normal, they say a TX, and they say INV for inverted. Now, what you need to do in order to set this board up for these particular corresponding pads is you need to solder 2 of these pads. You need to bridge them. So if you're going to be wanting normal signal, you would do normal and TX1. If you wanted an inverted signal, you would solder bridge invert and TX1, and that would actually invert the signal. So you can see there's some on this side, there's also some on this side, and that's where we're going to be going ahead and bridging. I'm going to be running normal for both of these. Now, something else I'd like to point out about how I'm setting this frame up. If you look at this frame, I'm actually using this as the front, when it's actually the rear. And the reason I'm doing this is I have a little bit more room here, which normally would be the front. However, I'm using this for the back because I'm going to be mounting my TBS Immortal T antenna back here. And because I'm using a micro camera, I don't need the extra space in the front. Now, this particular canopy will mount either way. So it will mount this way, having the left being the front, or it will mount this way, having the right be the front. Just want to throw that out there and just show you that I'm doing a little bit of a different build on this. As you can see, it's a little bit wider in the front, which would make it a little bit stronger for front end impacts. But I'm not going to be bashing this thing real crazy, so it will be fine to do the swap like I'm doing for my particular build here. In order to wire up the receiver, which I'm using the Crossfire Nano, and the video transmitter, the Rush Tank VTX, what we're going to do is, for the VTX, we're going to be using video out pad, ground, and VBAT. So we're going to go ahead and pre-tin these 3 pads. For the receiver, for the Crossfire Nano, we're going to be using TX1 pad here, which is going to be channel 1 on the Crossfire Nano receiver, 5-volt pad here, and a ground pad there, and that's it. Unlike Betaflight, the Crossfire Nano for FlightOne only requires TX1. It doesn't require an RX pad. It's going to send and receive the data from the Crossfire through TX1. Here's the Crossfire Nano receiver. We've got the ground, we've got the 5-volt, and we have channel 1, channel 2. We're going to be using channel 1, and that's going to go to TX1 on the FlightOne flight controller. I'm going to be mounting the receiver underneath of the Afterburner 4-in-1 ESC, and I'm going to use a little bit of this little foam to create a little barrier between the bottom of the frame and the receiver itself. Even though I've already got the receiver in the heat shrink, it's nice to give a little bit of a barrier in between. And the antenna I'm going to have right back here in the back, and we'll secure that down as well. I've got the receiver installed underneath the flight controller on a piece of foam, and here's the antenna coming out the back. Now we just need to go ahead and wire up our receiver and solder it to the corresponding pads. Okay, I got the VTX wired up. This is the rush tank, and you can see we have the power wire red, the ground black, we have the yellow, which is the smart audio, which goes to the TX3 pad, and we also have the white, which is the video out. All put together, all soldered up, VTX and the receiver. A little bit of zip tie management back here for the little micro axis that we're going to be using for the FPV antenna. Of course, power wire will go underneath. But all in all, everything is now hooked up, wired up. Now we just got to set everything up in FlightOne and go ahead and get our receiver bound to the transmitter for crossfire. And we'll be ready to go ahead and give this guy a test and plug it in and check our video and make sure everything's working okay. And that's going to do it for this build video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out the playlist, and make sure you please like, share, and subscribe. Now comes the fun part. We're going to hook this thing up in the next video to the FlightOne configurator, and we're going to go through it step by step and get this thing all set up on the computer so we can go ahead and take this thing out and get it ready for the maiden flight. I can't wait. You know this thing is going to absolutely rip. Till next time, E-Drone out.